Hi guys, I just wanted to part of this quick video. I've been in a meeting this afternoon and while it's still fresh in my mind, I just wanted to share with you this video. I wanted to quickly take you back to 2016 when I was invited down onto the Kaiser Report. Now regular readers of my blog will probably recall in 2015 I was invited down by Max and Stacey down to London to talk to Max and Stacey about blockchain and the application of blockchain technology to the derivatives market, the financial derivatives market. Now, all of 2015, I was knocking on many doors, trying to get this story out, but nobody would take the story on in 2015. Now, when Max took the story on and listened to what I had to say, and then obviously aired the program, the story was met by mixed opinions, or there was many comments that came in, and I actually at the time there was a few people who really was quite aggressive, and I was attacked by various comments, and I was called all sorts, mental, retarded, idiot, fool, buffoon, all these things came out after the video was put out on air, or the interview was put out on air. Now, what I'm actually doing today is I'd like to fast forward and try and explain to you that I'm having now exactly the same negative friction when it comes to the next phase of the story. Now, back in 2016, January of 2016, when I was talking about the blockchain being applied to the derivatives market, I'm not talking about that now. That is happening. The blockchain distributed ledger to the financial derivatives market in order to calculate the systemic risk of the financial system, that is happening. What I want to share with you today is the friction now that I'm getting, where I strongly believe that regulatory bodies as we all know the regulatory bodies, effectively are going to be obsolete in the future. Now again, I have no doubts at all that this video is going to be hit by exactly the same barrage of abuse that the Kaiser Report video or Kaiser Report interview in 2016 hit. But I'm trying to get this message out because I've been talking to a substantial amount of people over the last 6 to 12 months about this story, and just recently I've been approached by quite a few people asking me what is behind this story, what actually is the message that I'm trying to get across. Well, of course, the first thing I say to people is, watch the video that I did in 2016, and if you're comfortable with the video that I did in 2016, then I'll be more than happy to talk to you about the next phase. Now, a lot of people automatically just assume that regulatory bodies, that the whole system, and when I say the system, I mean the complete global system, not just the financial system. I'm talking the whole global system, media, manufacturing, industrial, news, the financial system, banking, medical, the whole global system. And of course, the whole global system has their intermediate regulatory bodies to determine, regulations and what's right and wrong and what's good and bad. Now, these regulatory bodies in the future are going to be replaced by the blockchain. Now, again, I have no doubts at all that this comment is going to receive exactly the same barrage of abuse that I, received in 2015-16 when I put out the message about the derivatives market. Now, what I'm hoping to try and get across today is how important this is, because there's a lot of people already are saying, well, the genie's been let out the bag, let out the bottle with the application of the distributed ledger technology and the way that blockchain technology is going to completely revolutionise everything. Well, you have to look at these regulatory bodies and understand who actually are these regulatory bodies. And once you understand who these regulatory bodies are, then you have to then say, well, what would be the implication if blockchain technology was actually applied to these regulatory bodies? Well, the whole rules are going to be changed. And there's a lot of people will listen to this video and think, well, this is just completely bizarre. You know, I mean, this is just, you know, in 2016, if you had any doubts as to what I was trying to say in 2016 with Max, having the blockchain applied to the financial derivatives, then to go from there and say, well, the blockchain is going to be applied to the regulatory bodies. And in theory, what is going to happen? It's going to decentralize the whole regulatory body. Now, there are going to be people out there who will actually say, well, that is just completely bizarre to even begin to suggest this. Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. This is going to happen. And really, once you understand that this is going to happen, you have to really then understand what would the implications be. What would the implications be if blockchain technology, or the distributed ledger technology, was applied to regulatory bodies? Just think about that for one moment, and once you make your decision as to which way you're gonna go with it, then of course the results, what comes out of it afterwards, will determine what you actually do now. So, I've been saying this for probably for 4 years now, and really we're getting to a point now where people have to really fully understand the application of the blockchain distributed ledger technology to the whole system, and again, I'm not just talking the financial system, I'm talking everything, the whole way that the global system is all stitched together. And once you understand the source of where all the information or where all the decisions are made, well, the source of all the decisions are made centralized. These decisions are made effectively central banking, central government, central regulatory bodies. This is where the information is decided, or this is where the decisions are decided and the information comes from. Well, you replace that layer of administration, from source to output, and take out that little bit which is the regulatory body, and replace that with a distributed ledger and the blockchain technology. I can tell you now, your answer will determine whether or not you believe this or not. So I'm hoping that this video gets out. Like I say, I was chatting to somebody this afternoon, and really I just felt strongly, because I've been asked now by so many people to talk to them, and yet very, very few people are willing, like in 2015, to run with the story. Because in 2015, when people asked me to talk to them about the financial derivatives migrating onto the blockchain, people said, well, that can't happen. How can that happen? And I said, well, it is. It will, and it is. So of course, the same people, or the same group of people, are all asking me, what's this regulatory body, blockchain being applied to the regulatory body? Well, again, I'm being hit like with like, it's like hitting a brick wall, and I'm trying to punch through the brick wall. I'm banging on the doors, talking to people, trying to punch through and get the message out. So I'm hoping that this short video will get people thinking, and if you've got any concerns, if you've got any doubts, drop them in the comments below, and I'd be interested to see what people's reaction would be if they think that the regulatory bodies are going to be replaced by the blockchain. What do you think is going to come out of it? So hopefully this will get out, and tomorrow I'm going to do a video on the recent news that Ned put out yesterday. I mean, this is just phenomenal. To talk about hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs on the Steam blockchain within the next 5 years is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And suppose really just to leave on a note. Last year I put a video out talking about a 500 billion social media powerhouse for the blockchain, for the Steam blockchain. Well, really, after the video that Ned put out, that 500 billion, it's going to go up. It is going to go up. So sometime tomorrow, I'll get a video out, and it'll be a video discussing or talking about what I believe is going to happen over the next 5 years with the Steam blockchain, and why I now strongly believe that 500 billion for the Steam ecosystem is light. It's going to be a lot more than 500 billion. So hopefully this message will get out. Regulatory bodies, the blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, this is going to change everything. This is a complete game changer. The genie's out of the bottle, and they ain't putting it back. So speak to you soon, and I'll get the video out tomorrow. Cheers, guys.